At least 3 people have been killed after a cloudburst triggered heavy rain in Hyderabad last evening, affecting normal life. In the Banjara Hills area, 2 people, a 28-year-old and his 6-month-old son, were buried alive as a wall came tumbling down on them. In Charminar, 1 man was electrocuted. It has been raining on and off the whole of last week, and rains are expected today as well. People have been returning to the city after the festival break and the Gandhi Jayanti holiday, returning to almost utter chaos. Uma Sudhi now joining us for more on that. Uma, many areas still knee or waist deep in water?
Yes, Amitabh. In fact, it's the low-lying areas and those areas where construction actually happened on lake beds and other such vulnerable places. That's where the areas are still remaining flooded. Otherwise, the main roads of Hyderabad have been cleared of all the water. I must say that even in the Begumpet area, where usually the colonies would report a lot of water subsequent to this kind of a downpour, even that area has been cleared. So there is no water that is being reported from that place. But in the high-tech city, Madhapur area, Shivrampalli and other places, colonies, quite posh colonies, I must say, all of them parking lots are still underwater, and the vehicles, in fact, are virtually floating on water. And in the Sarur Nagar area, which is the other end of town, in fact, the lake there has been frothing so badly that the colonies, the entire colonies, are getting the toxic foam from the lake, and people are now worried about any kind of skin diseases that may happen if they come in contact with this toxic foam that, in fact, taken over not just on top of the lake, which is the usual case, but it has frothed over and come into the residential colonies, and that certainly has been a reason for concern. But yes, about 5 hours of almost continuous downpour in Hyderabad left the entire city virtually stranded where they were, with the vehicles stopped on the roads, the traffic jam, not allowing any movement of vehicles, many of them breaking down because of the huge amounts of water. We have seen dramatic visuals of the Panjaputta flyover, which is in fact in the heart of Hyderabad. That one side of the flyover completely flooded. Obviously, the levels of the flyover were such that the water has been always stagnating whenever we have had a bad downpour. There have been dramatic visuals of cars stranded. If there a huge flow of water is happening, there have been electronic showrooms that have come underwater. Of course, there have also been some unfortunate deaths. 2 people dying in the Banjara Hills area after a wall collapse. A 28-year-old man, Yadagiri, and his child, a 6-month-old baby, also dying in the wall collapse, and the rescue could not happen in time, despite the fact that people knew that they were under the rubble. But for the rescue efforts to start was very difficult in those kind of conditions. We also had a case of electrocution in the Charminar area, where because of the contact with the live wire in the water, a young man was electrocuted. In both cases, compensation in that sense has been announced, but certain areas still not, the power supply still has not been restored because of they want to ensure that there are no live wires and no situation where there could be any more unfortunate accidents. So that's the reason why the authorities, in a sense, are trying to play it safe. But once again, the question of encroachments, the question of clearing up of sewers and nalas when such a downpour, of course, we did not for several years have this kind of a downpour in October, but it did happen last year, and it's again happened this year.